and go over to Dr. Manisha Acharya. Dr. Somshila, can you please introduce? Somshila?
Yes, good evening, everyone. Thank you very much, Dr. Partha. And to kickstart this really wonderful meeting that we have today on how to present a good abstract, we have none other than Dr. Manisha Acharya. Dr. Acharya is a consultant and the Konya as well as medical director of the Eye Bank at Shroff Charity Eye Hospital, Delhi. She's a cornea specialist of many years in training, and she has presented at various meetings, both national and international. And her research work predominantly revolves around infectious keratitis and eye banking, which is a niche area. So she has a really, I would say, rocking presentation where she's going to take you through how to make a good abstract of an offbeat or not a mainstream kind of a subject. So over to you, Manisha, looking forward.
Thank you, Dr. Somshila, for giving me this opportunity to present my thoughts on how we can present a good abstract. And at the outset, I would like to congratulate the Scientific Committee of the AIOS for arranging this webinar. I mean, it's a very pertinent topic, and we're not taught, as was said, about abstracts and how to write them. So I would start my talk by it's like how to put an abstract of an abstract topic, something like eye banking. It's not very clear cut. It's easier sometimes, I feel, to put clinical abstracts because that remains our forte, and how to convince the reader that, okay, this also has a substance. So the first thing I would say is that an abstract is a self-contained summary. The purpose is to help the scientific committee decide whether or not to select this academic paper for presentation. It's the trailer of a movie which you will be presenting on that day, and a preview of the bigger document. Later on, when you look back, it is very useful for indexing also, and is important for a search engine optimization. So this was one of the abstracts which was sent for the Eye Bank Association of America meeting in 2019, and with the topic of impact of quality indicators and quality assurance and utilization of corneal tissues in a community eye bank. So I'll take you to certain steps what led us to this topic to come to this level where it was accepted, and we went ahead and made the presentation at the Eye Bank Association of India. Even we considered it, even if we could not physically be there. So when we come to the title of the abstract, it gets the scientific committee of the conference interested, what you really want to present. So the title should be descriptive, direct, appropriate, interesting, concise, precise, unique, and it should not be misleading. That's very important. You are writing something in the abstract and you're going on something else in the conclusion that usually doesn't match. It's like a mismatch. So I always feel a direct and appropriate and a non-misleading title is the best, which you should try to put towards the scientific committee of any conference. The objective should be simple, specific, unbiased, honest, concise, and precise. Again, that should not be misrepresentative. You're thinking of something big and you're not able to achieve. So here we put in the purpose as to study the impact of quality indicators and quality assurance measures for utilization of corneal tissues in a community eye bank. Then comes a difficult part. That's something, the longest subsection, wherein you need to concise what all you will be doing, what all you did for this study to come up, or what you want to present. So it has to state what was done, and the duration is very, very important. What are the main categories you would be dividing it into, and main outcome measures, the parameters evaluated, and how the outcomes were assessed or analyzed. Like something like what were the statistics used in the particular study. So for this, we put in the period of the study, which was 2008 to 2010, the categories in which it was divided, and what was the procedure which was followed very concisely, and also the period wherein we did a pre-intervention or a post-intervention study, whatever we had to do. The results, again, are very, very important, and it's states what was found, what needs to be mentioned, and the numbers are important in the results. Sometimes we feel that you can send an abstract even when your study or your analysis is not complete. That's not right. You have to have the numbers in your result. So you have to tell them what is the pre-intervention number, what happened post-intervention, and how did the non-utilization, or what were the other parameters or the salient features which came out as results in the study which you want to present. Then comes the last but not the least, the conclusion. So again, that's actually the take-home message which you want the conference. It should be very apt and pertinent to the conference where you're applying for. Like if it's an ARVO conference, it has to be written a little differently because the research is the main aim there. If it's an academic conference or other conference, something like an iBanking, it has to have a more holistic or a bigger view. Something like what can be extrapolated to most of the iBanks in this case, which we could say. That we said that this stringent implementation of these would effectively increase the utilization rate, and it can be effectively adopted because it's an objective way how you can put them in your iBanks. So the interpretation of the research question and the results put together should come in the conclusion, and the author's view on the implications of the study are also acceptable. Here you can put a line or so of what you think after the study would help the rest of the community. So when you have an abstract like this, it's very nice and heartening to see that it's presented in these bigger conferences and you're able to present. And unfortunately, I couldn't go, and they asked me if somebody else could present it on our behalf. So, I mean, it was more like a video, or if somebody else could also present over there. And our iBank partners, Miracles Insight, we had people there, and there this study was presented by Mr. Mike Tramble. So, and if you have a good abstract and a good study coming up, it usually always leads to a publication. And that also, that sometimes you feel is the end result which you want to give for a good study which you've conducted. I would say sometimes an idea is important. And this idea actually came to me when we got this award on the Quality Improvement Team of the Year. At that point, it was like an abstract thing which we had put, that how quality can improve iBanking. And to put it into a paper or a study is not easy because it's a very abstract thing. So we had to think again, and we went through and did a lot of research on what we can do on this topic as well. So, I mean, I got this very nice checklist from this very nice article, which gives us all the useful tips for formulating a good abstract for a research question. So if we keep most of these things in mind, and the abstract can be simple, it can be concise to the point, and it can have the right amount of word limits, and the right message goes to the scientific community. Thank you again, AIOS, for giving me this opportunity to present in this very august forum. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Manisha. And I'll request Dr. Barun Naik sir and Dr. Somshila to discuss what Dr. Manisha presented.
Dr. Barun Naik is logged in.
Yes, sir. He's there. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Can I comment?
Yes, please, sir.
Yeah. Yes, it's very nicely presented just now by Dr. Manisha. And some of the things that she highlighted, that it has to be, because there is always a word limitation for the abstract. So in that word count, you have to fit in whatever you have to communicate. But as you know, this is not the entire article. So you cannot communicate everything that you have done, every result that you have got. So mainly, whatever is the most important aspect. So that part in the title will tell everything about whatever is the paper about. But in the abstract, whatever the fitting to the title, it has to go according to the in method section, that whatever was done, that again it will be means it should be as complete as possible in that limited word count. And result section, you cannot give everything as you give in your full text article. So there you have to choose what is the most important aspect, and that part you have to provide over there. And it should be whenever you come to a conclusion, conclusion should be based on, just remember this, whatever data you have presented in your abstract, not whatever you have got in your entire article, because that in abstract you are not writing. So whatever you are presenting your data in the abstract section, only on the basis of whatever conclusion you can draw, you should draw. And conclusion, usually what I have seen that many people just simply write something and then conclusion is just, it's a vague and generalized, which is just not possible to conclude from that basis. Because one very it's a good example which always I quote, that sometimes people, whatever you say, suppose they are comparing two things and one they found it to be superior, or two mode of treatment or two medication, one medication superior to the other, and the medicine which is found to be superior happens to be cheaper medicine, it doesn't mean that you can conclude that this treatment is cost effective, because it is efficacy you have proved, it's superior, but cost effectiveness is a separate study altogether. So that type of generalization should not be done. And plus also whatever the population that you have studied, so whichever population, only that population the study will be applicable to, or the conclusion will be applicable to. So that also, if it is possible to mention, if you have written in the material method about the population part, then that also you should mention. And last point I just want to say that some people get confused that whatever is your planning, that planning should come in the material and method. And whatever you have got your findings, that will come in results section. Just to explain that sometimes people, they simply write, we studied in material and method section, we did a retrospective analysis of 100 case files. This is not the correct way of writing, because 100 case files, how, I mean, this will come in this. Here you will say, what was your plan? That how did you select cases? Those things you can write. What time period, that, as she said, that the time period that she had very nicely mentioned in material and method. So that time frame will come. And then you can, if space is there, which is probably not there in abstract section, so then you can write why, because you chose this time period, because on the basis of this, you wanted to study so much, so at least you guess that this, you will get this much number. Ultimately, what you got will come in result section, will not come in material and method. So I think anyway, there are a lot of other also will be discussing on various abstract, and also I would like to hear from Somshila on this.
Thank you very much, sir. I think very, very pertinent points. To discuss what I have additionally on that is, well, Manisha has picked up pretty much every section of the abstract. So one important message is that I think that, well, it's very difficult to satisfy this, but the idea of sending an abstract is not that you want to attend the meeting and you want to get clearance from maybe the authorities or maybe your professors or maybe in an institute set up from your management and so on. So the idea should be that you have something that you're working on and you want to present that as a research paper, and then eventually you want to publish it, because if you don't publish, then it's not yours. It's like that. So related to that, it's good if you have a robust or some kind of good study that you're doing, maybe especially for the residents. I think all the DNB theses would eventually make very good papers if they're working on it very well. So that could be definitely the start of a good abstract or a good presentation for them. So that is one aspect, that the idea of sending an abstract is not just to attend the meeting, but actually to present your work, which you want to publish later on. So if that's your attitude, then you'll definitely have enough material to make a good abstract. So a few points about title. Sometimes I think maybe because of social media influence or whatever, all the messaging that goes around, I think the general idea is to have a very catchy title or something with some words or some buzz, or, use words like devastating or conundrum or all these words. So these are not necessary. It can be simple. And as Manisha mentioned, that it should be fairly descriptive and accurate. So if in my study, I'm going to look at the outcomes of graft rejection in the case of DMEC, that is going to be my title. I'm not going to say something very different from what I'm doing in the article. So the reviewer will clearly know what they're looking at. And so depending on the meeting, for example, if it's academy, you have only 100 words or 150 words. And it's very difficult to get your abstract filled in with all the, with what you want. So there you have to compromise in the sense that typically materials and methods, you might shorten it. But results, I think, is the body of your abstract. So results should be very complete and also include statistical methods. There have been several abstracts that have come which have said that results will be presented at the meeting. So that cannot be in the abstract. So the results have to be there. Sometimes the results are done with very basic, what you can do, office-based Excel, just the demographic details and some percentages, but it's a fairly large study. So you have to put in statistical tests that has to go into your results. So without that, it doesn't make a good abstract. And same points as Dr. Sir said about the conclusion. Dr. Barunaik mentioned that it can't be just some off-the-cuff conclusion. It has to be related to what you have published in the study. We can't make grand reaching conclusions based on our research. So we cannot extrapolate beyond our data.
So can I just make one comment?
Yes, please. Yes.
So Manisha, very well presented. But like you said, that we could probably put our view in the abstract. I think that will not be a correct thing to do. You just have to put in your conclusion, you just have to put what is the conclusion of your study. That's it. And like Somshila said, in American Academy, it's very difficult. You have to finish everything in 100 characters. So it takes 2 hours to do an abstract, which you've already actually written in some, 300 words or 250 words. To get it to 200 characters, you take 2 hours, to decrease the characters. And of course, the p-values, the statistical analysis, those make a lot of difference if you already have in the results. And always mention it's a retrospective study, it's a prospective study, it is a randomized controlled trial, because that will help you, to get your abstract in. Because if it is a prospective study, or if it is a RCT, or if it is, that adds value to the study. So I think those are, otherwise you covered everything.
Thank you very much, Dr. Amrita.